Namaste, Divine Beloveds. I'm Carol, and welcome to Tuesday Talk, a space to find tools and practices to help deepen your spiritual awareness, consider spiritual ideas from sacred texts, ancient wisdom, and transcendent whispers from the ones whom I call the mentors. I'm Carol, your host, and honored to serve as your spiritual mentor, guide, and companion on your journey. To learn how to work with me or study with me, click the link in the blog post or the video description. Now let's jump right into our talk for this moment. In the Bible, the Nazarene asks his disciples, "Who do people say that I am?" Have you ever asked that question of yourself? Have you asked that question to anyone else about yourself? Departing from the traditional interpretation of this scripture and using the Nazarene's question to illustrate a thought, he wasn't asking about the buzz. He knew what people were saying about him. He knew what they'd witnessed, what they'd heard and experienced. You can imagine with all he'd done, he would wonder how that translated in people's minds. Were they getting it? He wasn't asking about what they thought of his deeds. He asked the disciples specifically, not what, but who the people were saying he was. Then he asked an even more powerful question. Who do you say that I am? When the Nazarene was with the multitudes in the villages and on the outskirts of the city, he was healing and teaching. That was the perception of him people held. Healer, teacher. He was, however, with his disciples day and night. They knew him up close and personal. He was asking if there was agreement between the man the people saw and the man the disciples knew, between his public persona and the man he was with his inner circle. Perhaps, I would imagine, he was more concerned about who the disciples thought he was. Nevertheless, his question was poignant. Is everyone seeing the same thing? It takes a bit of courage to go there. Can people trust who or what they see? Authenticity is a matter of integrity. Dare to think about that and ask yourself some questions. Who am I? Am I coming across the way I intend? That is, who I am. Am I projecting my authentic self or a copy of someone else? A person dissatisfied with their self will try to find someone else to be. That search leads to nowhere. To be your authentic self, you must be well acquainted with yourself and accept yourself as a product of God's creative work, which, by the way, is perfect. Perfection and perfect imperfections. Don't let anyone tell you different. Consider spiritual gifts within the framework of this thought. Think of them in terms of being a part of a larger whole, the big picture of God's human tapestry. Each of us brings our unique color and texture. Positioning yourself in that framework will open your eyes as to how and where you fit in the world. Think of yourself in practical terms. Your personality, your habits, your tendencies, your attitudes, on and on. What excites you and motivates you? What makes your heart sing? You are who you are, you know. God created you in God's own image. So, Divine Beloved, you are in the divine eternity. The universe welcomes you whether you live in your authenticity or decide not to, but you rob yourself if you decide not to. There is only one you. There may be others who do what you do, but know this: no one can do what you do the way that you do it. That's what makes you amazing. And if those around you don't see it, then you must seek to find your tribe. I'm Carol. Thank you for listening. This has been an excerpt of one of my Tuesday Talks where I share ancient wisdom from sacred texts and metaphysical interpretations of the Bible. I invite you to join me one Tuesday. The link is always posted at the top of the page right here in the group. So thank you for joining me this evening, and maybe I'll see you at one of the Tuesday Talk live events every week at 7 on Zoom. Embrace your journey with gratitude.